These are the most commonly asked questions in the AFC, and today I'm giving you the answers. Today we're breaking down the struggles and issues I see people go through year in, year out. First up, how is the opponent tackling from behind and getting the ball? I take touches and keep my back to the defender and still get tackled from behind. They're still tackling me from behind by ramming into my players without conceding a foul, aka how to stop getting tackled from behind. There are two possible solutions to this issue. You're spending too long on the ball and your tunnel vision. You see, if you're abiding by everything I have broken down in the past, where I do advise you to take a touch to the space and keep your back to the opponent to prevent yourself from getting tackled from behind, however you still suffer from this issue, then it means you're spending too long on the ball. I see this quite often in my coaching academy. If a player does spend more than 2 seconds on the ball, it doesn't take long for the opponent to surround him, press him, squeeze him with his defenders, and essentially wrap his defender's body around the player on the ball to get the tackle in. The solution is to release after you've received the ball. Take a touch to the space, look around, and release. And that brings me into the next point of tunnel vision. You're simply spending too long on the ball because you're not looking around for options. If you focus just solely on the attacker with the ball, then you will be tunnel visioned and only focus on the intricate touches of your attacker, whereas you should be really looking around for other options. This will help you prevent yourself from getting tackled from behind. I've had several rivals who pressure me like a demon and don't let me do anything. I don't understand how people high press 3 players on 1 player, but still everyone else is mutt. How do people do this for the entire game? It's not fun. This game is frustrating. I need all the tips I can get. At 37, my reactions are nothing compared to what they used to be, and I find press impossible to get past, aka how to beat team press. Well, there are 4 key points to this concern, and that is direct passing, tunnel vision, first time passing, and touches to space. You see, if you don't have the correct tactics to help beat team press, then unfortunately custom tactics including forward runs won't help you, as players will be running away from the ball instead of coming towards you. So direct passing is my recommendation, simply because it will cause the AI attackers to come towards the ball to offer options when you're getting pressed. Your tunnel vision goes in line with the previous point in the fact that you are only looking solely at the player on the ball, and you're limiting your ability to spot options quickly and move the ball on away from that press. You're not first time passing. You see, although you are taking touches to space, that extra touch takes an extra 1 or 2 seconds for you to complete, which means your opponent has more and more time to adjust his defenders and wrap around the attacker on the ball. However, if you're first time passing, which can be done from, of course, looking around and stop being so tunnel vision, then you will spot options quicker and you will be able to perform the passes straight away with tiki-taka passing, rather than just taking a touch, slowing down and allowing your opponent to squeeze you and suffocate you. Last but not least, touches to space. I mean, if you do need to take a touch, you need to take it to space, and most importantly, it needs to have your back to the opponent. These are the 4 key tips that I can give you to actually beat team press. Hi Dylan, please make a tutorial on how to turn like FC23 fast and response. When should we use R1 dribble? I'm really confused when to use L1 and when to use R1, etc. My players can't move or dribble, clumsy and slow. Not sure how to dribble, aka you need a dribbling breakdown. Well, there are 2 key points I want to mention in this segment, and that is of course looking at the space using the skiing analogy. You're probably thinking, what the bloody hell is he on about? Well, the skiing analogy, I say it year in, year out, is when skiers are going down a hill, they're not looking at the trees, they're looking at the path. If they focus on the tree, they will swerve that way because of their hand-eye coordination. It is very similar to dribbling in EAFC. If you're not looking at the space and you're looking directly at the defender, you will more than likely naturally swerve to the defender and not away from him. That is why focusing solely on the space when you're dribbling will help you weave in and out of the defenders. Last but not least, we have chopping versus rolling. You need to chop to feint, you need to roll to space. That is the analogy you want to think of. Essentially, when you're feinting a defender, it's a chopping motion, though if you are dribbling throughout the space, which you should be, and you should be focusing directly on that space, then rolling the stick, the left stick that is, can be a very key strategy to you dribbling throughout the holes, the spaces and the gaps to avoid defenders and better your dribbling ability. And what about short corners into a cross to the second post? Those are tough sometimes. Can you make a tutorial on how to defend corners and how to win headers? Concede so much from corners and tried everything. Moving the keeper doesn't help either. Can you make a video on how to win aerial battles? I always lose aerial battles. AKA how to defend corners. This is a common one this year simply because of how hard it is to defend against crosses from the width area. However, it is necessary to add a disclaimer. No matter how hard you try, it just seems impossible for your defender to in fact defend that cross, and the attacker, including Haaland, the man himself, always rises above. Corners are simply overpowered to the point that the solutions may not always suffice when it comes to defending corners. However, what I will say is there are two possible techniques and solutions to help you better defend in corner situations to try and help us beat the odds. Moving the keeper. I know you said keeper movement doesn't work. However, I would like to know where you're moving him, because the most beneficial area on the pitch, specifically in the 18-yard box, for you to move your keeper is to the edge of the 6-yard box. This ensures he is out far enough so that he can actually collect the ball when the cross is put in. Now, when the cross is performed, when the keeper is out, you need to hold triangle. This ensures the keeper comes out, you collect the ball and catch it from his positioning. And second up, you need to move your biggest, strongest, tallest, ugliest defender to the edge of the 6-yard box, but at the corner. What this ensures is adaptability. If the cross is short, you're able to clear that short cross. If it's to the back post, the defender is in a decent enough position to actually track back, move back into that area of the pitch, and hopefully get onto the end of the trajectory of the cross to clear it. And last but not least, you need to take into consideration clearing the ball when getting rid of a cross. If you just tap the X button, unfortunately, it doesn't activate the defending animations that activate and have been scripted into the game by EA when pressing the clear button. That's why it is advised to tap the circle button so that it ensures your defender is going to clear that cross with the best of his ability. Is right stick switching a must? Do I have to switch with the right stick? I find it's hard and I always get the wrong player in the middle of the field. But right stick switching is broken. When I right stick switch, it never goes to who I want it to. Last but not least, and AKA, how do we right stick switch? Now, as a disclaimer, I want to note for this last segment that it is the only solution that I've given you today where there is actually not a specific technique that will solve the problem. What solves this problem is time, practice, and dedication to the craft. That's it. I can give you all the techniques in the world to right stick switch, but if you have not got the accuracy and you have not got the speed down pat, which is the two most significant aspects of right stick switching that you need to master, then all the techniques that I note today will be irrelevant. If I'm honest, the only solution is putting in the work. If I take you back and tell you a story about my journey from L1 switching to right stick switching, when EA Sports competitive FIFA began back in FIFA 17, I knew personally I wanted to become a pro. However, after analysing various pro games, something very obvious came to my attention. Every high caliber player was using right stick switching, and that is simply because with right stick switching you can control any defender you want within the flick of a stick instead of using the L1 button, which is very inconsistent and only the AI decides who you should select at that moment. And the majority of the time, the L1 switch that you perform will not select the correct player at that moment. Knowing this, what I had to do was force myself to use right stick switching in the game to force myself to get better, increase the accuracy, and hence increase the speed of my switching. From FIFA 17 to FIFA 18, it was a hard, grinded out 2 years of practicing right stick switching. And did I lose more games than I won in those years simply because I was putting in the hard yards and practicing right stick switching? Absolutely. But was it a short-term loss for a long-term gain? 100%. By FIFA 19, my right stick switching was on point, the accuracy was around 9-1, and the speed got quicker and quicker every year. I found myself in my first pro tournament, and honestly, I would put it down to my ability to defend, and most importantly, right stick switch. So the answer to your question is yes, yes, and yes. Right stick switching is a must. You must put in the effort, you must grind it out, and you must have a short-term loss for a long-term game. You will lose, I guarantee, but force yourself to use right stick switching by going into matches and using only right stick switching and completely cutting out that L1 button. So not only have we broken down the top 5 concerns that I see year in, year out from the people of this channel, but we have found solutions to these so that you can hopefully remedy some of your concerns and become a much better EAFC player for years to come. Now, I am coaching one-on-one. You can check that out. The link is down below. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, you may enjoy this one here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. And lastly, if you do want any pre-gaming fuel or supplement, then head over to atpscience.com, which is the first link in the description, and use the code AussieFIFA at checkout to get yourself a discount. Not only is it the cheapest way to get supplements, but it helps me out a ton, guys, so thank you.